Hey YouTube, Dawson Rider here with my review of BCR Series 12, the Black Hazard Rabbit Rabbit Tank Tank set. So this is like probably the largest set in the main release line they've done. As you can see here, we have a figure for just good old Rabbit Tank Black Hazard, but then it comes with armored pieces to do transformations for Rabbit and Tank's forms. Sorry, they're blurry, I can only focus on one thing at a time. I haven't been going over the boxes so much in these reviews, but I did want to draw attention to what a cool box this is. Like you can see here on either side is a really neat shot of like the toy form of this, but then on top there's a really cool like in-show shot for each of them with the glowy eyes. It looks really, really cool. I'm going to take it out of the way for now so it doesn't steal focus, but I wanted to draw attention to that. So in addition to the armors I just showed you and the obvious figure here that comes with it, it does come with both versions of his weapon, which is just, you know, like literally just black plastic. Like I'm trying to get the camera to focus on it, but honestly, there's not a lot to focus on detail-wise. I mean, to be fair, it's mostly the same color weapon in the show. Like there's definitely some different details in it, but yeah, par for the course stuff. You have like the little elbow and shin pieces and stuff like that, which you'll see in a second. And then they actually give you different versions of the driver depending on what you have in there. So that's actually kind of neat. I appreciate that actually. So there you have that. They're not like super colored or anything, but I like that they do that for those of you that care about like super accuracy when you have it transformed into something. But anyway, so here we have the base figure, which is just the regular Black Hazard form. Honestly, this one would have been hard to mess up. This line doesn't have as much paint as Figuarts, but it's usually a pretty solid job. But they would have had to tried, to have messed this up because it's literally just an all black suit, you know, and then you got the belt and then the helmet has the different colored visors. And I think they did a pretty solid job on it. There we go. Tripping over my tongue today. But yeah, like obviously something like Figuarts Compound Eyes would look better, but this is a solid job of representing this figure, or this suit rather, which is literally just a solid black suit. It's like his black suit at Spider-Man. You know how when Spider-Man went really emo and he was like, man, I really love apple cider, and he did that like embarrassing dance sequence in Spider-Man 3 with apple cider. Classic black suited Spider-Man. But yeah, I actually really like this form. Even though that's all there is to it, I think it looks really cool like that. And yeah, it's same articulation as you're pretty much used to. It's somewhere in between a 5-inch Power Rangers figure from Bandai America and Figuarts. You do have the special little finger joints, which are unique to it. No waist twisting. You have the arm. This is an arm, guys. Arm, leg. Learn science from Dawson and anatomy. But yeah, so if you are familiar with these figures, you know what you're getting. Pretty solid articulation aside from the chest and the fact that the head doesn't move, which does bother me. However, something I think is neat, even though this figure has this whole gimmick going for him of the armor, he can also separate and go for the classic BCR series gimmick, which is neat. Now, let's take a second here and I'm just going to do one fun one of, whoops, I got them mixed up. Here we have, there's, you know, Black Hazard, Tank, and regular Rabbit. We'll fix the camera here in a second. I keep having to move it so you can see him. Let's, okay, there we go. But yeah, that's really neat. Like, it's easy to see why they did it because it was pretty easy to do, to be honest. Like, they didn't really have to put that much effort forth to do it, but it's still neat, and you get 2 gimmicks for 1, which is really appreciated. I love that when you can do the multiple layers, and obviously you can do that with any of the BCR line that's capable of that, and then you could put the armor on it if you wanted in some fashion. Whoops, I almost got them mixed up there. Okay, but yeah, that's really a cool beat that I like. Okay, so now let's go ahead and transform them. I guess we'll do it kind of like they do in the show, where we go Rabbit and then Tank, or like the toy and stuff, and insists on you doing it. But basically what I'm going to do is, I'm just going to take this off. The back instructions show it slightly different, but I just find it easier to, you snap this on the back, there's 2 little pegs back here, and just secure the back piece, and then take the front piece, and then these 2 little beats will snap back on over here, and then just take the helmet and slide it over. There you go. And then you have the little shin pieces down here, which snap in. These ones actually just kind of have these little bits sticking out, so they kind of claw onto the leg. That would like seriously hurt. If this was like a legit shin guard and it was held on by digging like ledges into your legs, that would hurt, surely. And don't call me Shirley. Anyway, and then you have these ones here, which are, well, I guess this would hurt too if it was real. Like you put a hole in your arm so that you can put your your arm guards on later. I don't know, it's very violent being a BCR figure. It's just a really just underestimated career field. But yeah, there you have it. There you have Rabbit Rabbit. You got the two little scarves back there, which look pretty neat. And this honestly looks pretty solid. It's not quite as cool looking in the show, just because the one in the show has that really neat kind of rubyish red color, and this is just kind of more of a blah plastic red, but it still doesn't look bad, honestly, for what you're getting, and for the fact that it's kind of a fun transformy toy, and, you know, you put the armor on there yourself. It's not, like, super noticeable. Like, you can see it a little bit if you go back here and stuff, but I don't feel like, oh yeah, that's obviously sticking off of there. Like, if I were to just see this on the shelf, not knowing that it was one of those armored figures, glancing at it, it looks pretty solid just on its own. The only real complaint I have is, honestly, well, aside from the head articulation, which there's really not a whole lot you could do in this situation, I guess if you just made this one solid piece. Anyway, is that, you know, I can't display all three of these with these figures. I have to pick one of the three. And Rabbit's probably my favorite of the two forms, of the two dual forms, the Cyclone Cyclone, Joker Joker, Rabbit Rabbit Tank Tank forms. But yeah, pretty neat. I dig it. Okay, now let's go ahead and get him undone. There we go, and we'll do a tank, shall we? That's the cool, looks like a dragon's about to come over his head form. Like, it looks like it's a dragon head about to eat him, but then it's just actually a rabbit. Okay, so now we will get tank. And see, like, you can try to do that, and it works for this one, but with rabbit, when you try to do it, I can never get it to go through, so I just kind of separate it, but you can do it however you want. This one actually went fairly smoothly, which was nice. And there you have Tank Tank, and then he has his guards here. Oops, I almost got to take it. That's the dual form. There you go. You can mix and match if you want, which is like seconds of fun. I didn't even intend on doing that. I just keep forgetting that that's a thing. And it'd be kind of neat to mix and match these a little bit with, you know, doing the other BCR gimmick and switching out some of them and transforming them. I don't think it's going to make a huge difference, but it's a little something, which is kind of nice, and I like that. Alright, there you go. There we have Tank Tank. I don't like him quite as much as standard Black Hazard or the Rabbit Rabbit, but it's still a pretty cool one, and I think they do a pretty good job of representing it again without feeling like, you know, oh, I can totally tell this is an armor. Like, you can see right there little bits like that, but still pretty decent. I'm pretty happy with it. And then you get the two little, his scarves being like, what do you call those things? Those treads, I guess, on tanks is actually really cool. I really do like that detail. But yeah, there you have that. And the articulation is obviously just going to be a little bit limited by the armor being here, but it's actually not too bad. Alright, but that's about it for that. Overall, I think this is a solid BCR figure. The figures have kind of been hit and miss for me in general. I think that they didn't quite live up to their potential, and some of that still exists here, you know, when you're reminded of things like no head articulation and stuff like that. But I think this is honestly probably one of, if not the most fun BCR set, because you can do the mix and match with this figure with any other figures you might own, and you also get the cool armor gimmick. So it's just overall just a really nice compilation that gives you a little bit more to do than usual. It's unfortunate you're not going to be able to display all three unless you buy 3 sets, but still, not an absolute must-have, but I think one of the more fun sets. Anyway, that's about it. Until next time, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Dawson Ryder, signing out.